Guys, welcome back to the channel, and we are here today with my new Porsche 996 Turbo S, which I've been using as my daily for the last 6 weeks. Now, the biggest problem I find with this car is the tech. My iPhone does not work with that 2004 PCCM Porsche stereo. So today we are going to upgrade the stock stereo to a brand new Kenwood wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto stereo. So guys, sit back and we'll shortly get into it. Right guys, a tech update video. So let me show you the stereo in this 2004 996 Turbo S. So you've got the stock sat-nav system, which I think is about 5-inch display there, I'm guessing. This is not a touch panel display, so everything is touch button. With this stereo, whilst it's fantastic, and in 2004 this would have been right up to date, but 19 years on, far from it. So let me just explain to you what this stereo is missing and lacking. Firstly, no USB input, so you can't charge any type of phone, be it an iPhone or an Android phone. No DAB radio. You can only play AM and FM on this radio. It does have a CD slot, also has a 6 CD changer in the front as well. As I showed you earlier, no touchscreen. Bluetooth. Now, this stereo does have Bluetooth, but for the Bluetooth to work, you have to insert a SIM card. So in 04, you may have had a spare SIM card on your Nokia phone. You'd insert that in there, you get in the car, and you've got Bluetooth via the stereo, and your contact list and everything will be on that SIM card. Now, there is an SOS button here, and that I don't think dials Porsche tech, but it dials 911, 112, 101, whatever that number is. That won't work now because that SIM card I showed you is probably the previous owner's, and he's left it in here and it does not work. The sat nav, okay, the sat nav does work via the nav button here. It's via a disc, so there is a disc. Let me show you that disc. The map disc is from 2004. We know that since 2004, a lot of roads and a lot of streets would have been updated. So that sat-nav disc is way too old. Plus, I've got no Waze, I've got no Google Maps, so I have to use my phone. So when I get into this car, at the moment, my iPhone clips on here on the side of the steering wheel into the air vent. Right guys, let me show you what's going into the 996. Now, this is the Kenwood stereo. Some of you are probably thinking, why am I not fitting the Porsche PCCM Plus in the 996? Well, nothing wrong with the Porsche PCCM Plus, but for me, it's not what I need. I need something with a bit more spec, and I will go into that in depth later on at the end of this video. So guys, sit back, watch this segment, and then we'll talk Kenwood versus Porsche PCCM Plus. So we've got the Kenwood DMX8021DABS. We've already shot a video which is on our channel. We've got a windscreen mount DAB antenna, fitting fascia kit. We've got the CAN bus adapter. This car has Bose, and it's also a fiber optic setup. So it's a slightly different adapter if you don't have fiber optic. We'll come to that in a moment. And a couple of aerial adapters as well. Now, there are some differences between the earlier generation of 996s, so pre-2001, and post-2001. And obviously some of the 996s don't have the screen, they have a single DIN stereo. So let me bring in Purav, who will explain the differences between the earlier cars and some of the newer cars. Right, so we've got Purav here. What are you saying?
Tired.
Tired, okay, tired because you just got so many technical inquiries.
No idea.
Okay, so Purav is, I would say he's our technical manager. He's the guru of CAS, and when we have a problem, he's our go-to guy. Some of the questions that the audience are going to ask, if you've got a pre-2001 996, it's a different loom, is that correct?
Yes, if you've got Bose, I think it's 2000, 2001 is pre-CAN, pre-fiber optics as well. So you'd use, oh, I can't remember what the part number is, but it's a different lead completely. After 2001, I think it is, the Bose went off a fiber optic loom. So all the audio signals are from fiber optics.
So you've got to be careful there. Now, if a customer's got a single DIN aperture with the heater control and the climate control on top and they want to fit a double DIN, what do they need to do?
First of all, that's the probably best and only fascia out for it. What it does, it relocates the heater controls down below where the CD or cassette slots are, leaves the pocket intact but moves it slightly higher, and then leaves you with a doubled-in fascia and brackets to house your new stereo, and it looks all nice and flush in the car as well.
Now, in terms of anything else our consumers need to know, any major complications that need to worry about?
Yes, because of fiber optics, there's no official lead for this car. We convert a fiber optic box from a different car and hardwire it into the car so that the fiber optics will use the RCA output from the new stereo that's coming in to convert to the Bose system.
Hopefully we haven't confused you there, but in the description below will be a link to this actual kit. So if you have a 996 and it's post 2001, is that correct?
Yes, 2000, 2001.
So it's got the Bose setup and it's obviously fiber optic. You can buy this complete kit and get an installer to install it. If you think you're DIY handy, just take into account there's a little bit of electronics involved. So we would suggest if you're not up to speed, then just give it to an installer. So guys, I'll leave it to Jay and I'll be back shortly. So guys, the original stereo is now out of the car. As you can see, it's quite a big chunky unit. This is the new Kenwood stereo. It is half the depth, as you can see there, and it weighs considerably less. Look at the size difference of the screen, guys. I would say that's a 5-inch screen. This is a full 7-inch screen. What a difference. Super excited. This will be in the car within the next half an hour, 45 minutes. Maybe an hour, Jay?
Yeah, about that.
Maybe an hour. We want it to fit perfectly. So Jay is just playing with the trim plate over there, just to ensure that it sits perfectly. And this is the reason why I said earlier on, yes, you can do it DIY, but it might not sit flush. And Jay is trying to perfect that fitting kit so the new stereo sits flush in the center of the dash. Right guys, I am back, which means the stereo is now in the car. So let me show you that. So let's close the door. First things first, as you can see, new Kenwood CarPlay stereo is installed. I still have use of my cup holder. I have lost that CD tray that was there, the CD holder, and now I have a little pocket which I can, if need be, pop my phone in there. In terms of design, I think it looks fantastic, very modern, very up to date. Now, one thing we will do if you have the stereo installed by us is add the Porsche logo to the initialization screen. So at the same time as installing the stereo, she's talking over me, but that is my ThinkWare dash cam. So I've installed a front and rear ThinkWare dash cam because this is going to be my daily. I won't go into that now, but in the description below is a link to the front and rear dash cam, and you can check the spec site on that. So here you go, guys. This is the initial screen that pops up on my Kenwood CarPlay unit. So guys, I'm not going to go into too much depth on the features of this stereo because, as I said earlier, there is a video on this particular Kenwood unit, and in the description, if you click on the link, you can watch that. But if I click on the Apple CarPlay logo, I've already shown you Spotify, which is there. If I click back on that, you've got Waze. If you're using an Android phone, you're probably going to use Google Maps. The phone button here will take you to Bluetooth. I'm not going to show you my contacts list for obvious reasons, but that's all paired up as well. So now let's talk features over and above the stock stereo that we removed. We now have DAB radio, as you can see there. We have Apple CarPlay, which will give us the maps. We've got a USB input, and I'll show you the USB in a second. We've also got Bluetooth, which I've shown you as well, which includes Bluetooth streaming for music, so you don't need to connect your phone. And finally, to bring it up to the 21st century, we have got touchscreen, as you can see there. The comparison between this and the PCCM, which I've been referring to earlier on. Now, the biggest thing for me on the Kenwood stereo, which the PCCM Plus, that's the Porsche stereo, does not offer, apart from the wireless CarPlay, because the Porsche stereo does not offer that, is the audio. Now, the Kenwood unit gives 3 RCA preouts, which are high voltage RCA preouts. So when I go to expand the system and add amplifiers, I have a very good quality signal to those amplifiers. But more importantly, this unit's got a digital sound processor. It's also got time alignment, as you can see there. Go back. And you've got loads of equalizer settings. In fact, you've got 13 band equalizer for optimal sound tuning and enhancements, including memories. So say, for example, you like listening to jazz music, you just press that jazz button, you've got jazz equalizer settings. If you like listening to rock, you've got that there as well. And then you can obviously have your own settings and put them into memory. So guys, that's a quick overview of the stereo and the specs. Now, comparison. The Porsche PCCM Plus costs about £1,420 here in the UK, and you'll be spending probably about £400 to install that kit. It's not the easiest kit to install. I don't think it's a DIY job because the way the kit is supplied, it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle and you have to put everything together. This complete kit, stereo, fitting fascia, the wiring harness, the DAB antenna, is £850, and there's a link for that in the description below. In terms of installation, you're probably looking about £300, £350. So you're looking, you know, £1,200, give or take, compared to £1,800, £1,900. That's a massive saving. You know, you're talking £700 difference. This is a better kit. You've got wireless CarPlay, and you've got all those sound enhancement features, which the Porsche unit does not offer. Furthermore, for me, the best thing is that I'm going to be upgrading the speakers. So the Bose speakers will come out. There's nothing wrong with them. They sound pretty good, but they're 19 years old. They're a little bit tired. I will change the speakers that are in the current stock location. So you've got front doors, you've got on the dash, and you've got in the rear quarters. I'm also going to add an amplifier just to add a bit more power to the new speakers. And I'm going to add an active subwoofer box and probably pop it in the kick panel on the passenger side, just to give me a bit more depth in this car. So that's the reason why I've gone with the Kenwood, because of the future expandability. Right guys, you're probably wondering how it sounds. Well, I can do a little bit of a comparison. I've lived with the car, so I know how it sounded before the new stereo went in. I've got my phone here. I plugged it in via a normal Apple cable into the USB cable, which I've left in the glove box. And if I hit play and just turn the volume up, now, off the bat, it sounds better. There's a lot more depth, there's more bass, there's more top end, but I am going to change the speakers, so that's going to improve even more. There you go guys, looks better, is more up to date in terms of features, sound quality is improved. I've now got working Waze and I've now got working Bluetooth. So as I said earlier, the links for the stereo and the dash cam are in the description below. Next up will be the audio upgrade, so change the speakers, add an amp and add a subwoofer. Hopefully you've enjoyed this content. You know what you need to do, just smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because obviously we are Car Audio Security, and here I have ticked off 2 things as it says in the company name. I've added some car audio and I've added some security. I'll see you again on another episode on Cash TV.